Hi, my name is Yasu, and I do Hitorigoto, which is a Japanese word, means talking to myself. But recently, I've been testing the interview style with the chatgpt, so I'm going to do the interview style again with chatgpt to answer a question that's given by the viewers. So let's begin. Please begin the interview.
Absolutely. Let's jump right in. So, Yasu-san, we've got a viewer question for you. They're curious if taking Dayvigo makes your body feel cold. They mentioned that after they fall asleep on it, they sometimes wake up a couple of hours later feeling a bit chilly. What's been your experience with that?
Thank you for the question. And then one thing I can agree with, another thing that I don't experience. So there's two things that I want to actually bring that up. And one thing that one thing, what I can agree with is that, yeah, when I take Davigo, usually I wake up in the middle of night. Still, I do. Usually, after 2 or 3 hours, since I fall asleep, based on the data that tracks my sleep pattern with Aura Ring. It's got better, but still it happens. And yeah, that's one thing that I can agree with. What I cannot agree or what I don't experience yet is that I don't really feel cold when I take Dayvigo. If I say a little bit more, then what has been happening to me is the opposite. I don't think it has anything to do with Dayvigo, but whenever I go to sleep and then I wake up, usually because my body was and it still is warm.
That's really interesting, Yasu-san. So, it sounds like for you, it's almost the opposite effect. You're waking up feeling warm rather than cold, and you don't think it's necessarily tied to the medication. Let's dig a bit deeper into that. Have you noticed any particular patterns? Like maybe it happens more if the room is a certain temperature, or if you've eaten or drunk something before bed. I'm curious if there's any other factor that might be playing a role in how you're feeling when you wake up.
Um, I don't know. I really don't know.
That's totally fine. Sometimes these things aren't straightforward, and it's more of a process of noticing patterns over time. But it's good that you're paying attention to how you feel. Let me ask you this then. Even if you don't have a direct link, have you changed anything else in your routine recently, like your evening habits or your sleep environment? Sometimes those little changes can be pretty telling.
Oh yeah, one thing is that so last month, in July 2025, and then it's really hot in Japan. It's crazy. Please don't visit Japan during summer. You're not gonna enjoy it here. It's really hot even at night. And then, so of course, I turn on the AC all the time. Uh, I set the temperature at 23 degree, but still, I woke up and I was sweating a lot, and I noticed that AC was working harder to cool down the room temperature. At first, I didn't really pay attention, but one day it really hit me that so AC stops kind of working once the room temperature reaches at 23 degree, which I set. And then once it stops working, of course, the room temperature goes up, and then it starts working again to keep it cool. I think when that happens, the room temperature is higher, and then that makes me feel uncomfortable, and then gets me sweat, and that's why I wake up. So that was my hypothesis, and then that's when I bought the circulation, so like fan, and then after that, I turn on the AC all the time, of course, but also I turn on the fan, like circulations all the time, so that the air in my room just keeps circulating and then keeps the temperature kind of always the same. And I think it works really well because afterwards, I sleep much better. I don't wake up in the middle of the night as much as I used to do. So that's what I can actually think of.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's a really insightful adjustment you made. It sounds like just managing that airflow and keeping the temperature stable really helps smooth things out for you. So it seems like this wasn't really about the Dayvigo itself, but more about the environment. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that tip, especially if they're in a hot climate like Japan in the summer. Thanks for sharing that. It's a great bit of practical wisdom.
No problem. And then like I think it also shows that Dayvigo is not strong. And that is why if when our body is very sensitive to any environmental changes, but hoping to sleep better with Dayvigo, we need to kind of pay attention a little bit, extra pay attention to make sure they have all of the sleep environments are ideal as much as possible. Otherwise, even we take Dayvigo, but the like room temperatures or any kind of environmental factors can affect us, then it disturb our sleep even we take Dayvigo.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really great takeaway for people who are listening. It's like Divigo can be a helpful tool, but it's not a magic fix if the sleep environment isn't right. So paying attention to all those details, like the room temperature, airflow, and just overall comfort, really does make a difference. Thanks for sharing that insight, Yasu-san. I think it's going to be super helpful for a lot of viewers.
I hope so, because I really don't want people to go through like deal with sleep issues. Sleep problems is just it's awful. People shouldn't suffer from it. And yeah,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Sleep issues can really be tough, and anything that helps make that easier is worth sharing. So, thanks again for opening up about that. I think a lot of folks will appreciate your experience.
thank you. Can you finish the interview?
Of course. That will be all for today's interview. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up.
Bye bye.